Coach, back the following day after Arizona State, and boy, it's just got to be a great feeling to come out with a solid earned victory.
Yeah, it was good. Our fans were awesome. You know, the amount of fans that were there, considering, you know, you look at all the snow that was coming down 4 hours prior to the game, and all the way into the first part of the game, and they helped us, and our players went out and energized them by making plays, and that's how it works. And we need kids out there to do the things that they've been coached to do and make those plays. And we had a lot of players make plays. Great team effort, and we had a lot of mistakes still, but we still found a way to win, and we were able to overcome those mistakes by making big plays.
Hour, 2 hours before the game, it's just the weather's coming down. It's all white. Is that any different? I mean, do the kids get a little too excited? You know, it's something new for them or different for them from their normal routine. Is it any different in preparations at that point?
I think so. Yeah, no, I think naturally you get into the situation like that, and our players, it energizes our guys, I think, and we like that. I think that we always think that anyone coming in isn't used to something like that, but that was fun. But you know, as the game went on, it actually got warmer. And it was quite pleasant in a lot of ways. So it turned out to be pretty good conditions for the game.
Game didn't start well. They took the opening kickoff back to the house. And, you know, you've talked a lot about it, but it still seems to pop up. You know, people are almost looking for these guys to just kind of call it a day. And they just seem to be so resilient.
Yeah, you know, we haven't at all this year. And I guess that's the thing I don't understand is we've lost some games where we didn't play great, but you watch the end of the game, guys are playing their tails off. They're still playing hard football. So we don't have that kind of character. We have really good character. Our players are going to continue to fight. They're young, but they're growing, and they're fighters. And the older they get, they're going to become more mature, stronger fighters. And it's only going to grow in upward, you know, direction. And so we got the right kind of makeup. We just got to keep growing it and developing the young players out there.
One of those young players really got a chance to shine last night for the first time this season, Connor Halliday. Expectations going in, I mean, I know he was going to get a series or two and then see how it goes, but did you think he was capable of that performance?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, you know, we thought he could do some really good things and make some throws. There's no doubt about that. How many he ended up making in the game, no, we didn't anticipate that. When we got in live bullets, his ability to move in the pocket, scramble, still see the field, make plays on his feet, that was good, really good to see. And taking care of the football, you know, not throwing on any ill-advised passes and not throwing interceptions. That was a concern, and he did a really good job managing the game that way.
How was the offensive line? It seemed like they did a pretty good job protecting him.
Yeah, I think they did a real solid job. We could have been better at times in that game, but overall, you'd say a real solid job by the offensive line. Need to take it another step further. I think we made some progress, but got a heck of a challenge this week on our hands. But overall, they did a solid job.
One of his targets, Connor's targets, who had a big game, Marquise Wilson, seems to just keep getting better and better.
Yeah, you know, again, giving him the right opportunities when they're there, you know, and Connor was able to do that. He put the ball in places where Marquise could go and get it, and which is a strength of his, and that's the great thing that Connor did, and gave Marquise those opportunities. Marquise has always been the same guy. It's about getting the ball to where he needs to be for him to make those plays, and Connor did that.
How much do the receiving corps play off each other? Because Marquise had 8 catches for 223 yards. Isaiah had a career high with 155 yards, and Jared seemed to be kind of, you know, the odd man out, but, you know, he had 6 catches and 60 yards or something.
Yeah, you know, all three of those guys did a nice job. They made the catches, and I think we only had, you know, 1 or 2 drops between those three, Connor threw nice balls for them, and you know, they got their hands on them and they made the plays.
Defensively, Arizona State's a pretty high-powered offense, and the team seemed to more or less keep them in check, allowing only 20 points on the defensive side.
Yeah, and with poor field position a number of the times where our defense had to start, you know, and really the first half they gave up the field goals all game other than the opening kickoff, and then they gave up a touchdown right before half. But we had some issues kicking the ball off, and we were quite concerned with Miles back there and Middlebrooks. I know both those kids. They're 10 500-meter guys or thereabouts, and they've returned like I think 4 or 5 kickoff returns this year, and it's pretty heartening to kick the ball off and have them do that to you. So we were trying to be creative, not to give up the big play in that regard. On the other end of that, we gave up field position and put our defense on, with their backs against the wall. I really liked how they responded in a lot of ways.
Now you turn your attention to Utah, and you could make a case that they're playing as well as almost any team in the conference, having won their last 3. What have you seen on them so far?
Well, defensively, they're right there with Cal. They're one of the top defenses in the league. Very big, physical, mature, particularly in their front 7, their D-line. A number of NFL football players on this defense, number 1. They're very physical. They like to play man coverage. So there's that. And then on offense, they don't pass the ball a lot right now, but they do run it. They've been controlling the clock. They've been forcing turnovers. And when they take care of the football, they've been winning their games. A lot of similarities to Cal in that regard. They've been able to run the ball relatively effectively. They've relied on their defense to do very well. And when they take care of the football, they're in games, and most of the time they win them.
You mentioned the crowd earlier in this interview, but first time back in 3 weeks, and prior to that it had been 4 or 5 weeks. Just how big of an advantage is it? And then carrying it over to this week, senior day, final home game of the season. Yeah,
it was big. No matter what you say, 6 out of 7 weeks on the road is really, really tough for anybody in the country, and that was very challenging for this football team. And when you equate what we've been going through injury-wise and just the youth, it was so good to be back home and have that energy from our fans and for our players, and be able to sleep in their own bed this whole, all the way up to the game, and just be around the area was really good. And we need to parlay that, though, back-to-back weeks. And that's something we haven't done this year necessarily, is play great football in conference back-to-back weeks. And this is our challenge. This is what we got to do. We got to come back and play another great game.
Saturday is going to be the final home game for 13 seniors, and hasn't been the past 4 years maybe what everyone had hoped for, but obviously they're going to play a huge role in this program moving forward. Can you just talk about, as a group, that contribution that they've made?
Yeah, they've been through a lot, and they've helped this program evolve eternally. They've helped us recruit. They've helped us do all the things we've needed to do to grow our program and grow it internally, and they've stuck it out. I give them a lot of props for what they've done. They've all been wonderful, and they've worked hard. And a couple of them are junior college guys, and then the other ones are high school guys that came in the program where they redshirted or they didn't. But very proud of those guys and what they've done. And really, this year they've been great leaders, and we're still going down the stretch here. We're going into our 11th game, and we're still in a bowl hunt, and that's a lot for where they've been and where we've come.
All right, well, let's have another good effort and get a victory against Utah on Saturday. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.